Hey guys, Alex from 7th Hour Films back again with Broadchurch, but I forgot to write it on my notes. BC3X6. Okay, so, Broadchurch, what happened last time? The Atwoods suck. See, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if he's gonna die. I just don't know. I don't know if he's gonna die because it's... You know, I can't... We always talk about from a writing perspective, from a storyboarding story perspective, from the perspective of a TV show. But I don't know, because let's face the facts that Mark Latimer is not the main storyline anymore, He's not a part of the main storyline anymore, so I don't know. I hope not, but I mean, I don't know. It's an interesting thing. I'm glad they have kept up with Mark, because that is sort of the last remaining holdover from season 1 and 2, Because season 1 and 2 was all about Danny, the case of Danny Latimer. Even when half of season 2 is on the Sandbrook case, the other half is the trial, the trial of Joe Miller. So for this season, to be like, all right, we're done with that. They finished, every plot thread that had been established, basically. And to start something brand new in the final season, Now, granted, I guess I don't know if this was advertised as the final season or just, here's season 3, But I'm glad there is something kept from the first 2 seasons, that they are still going with Mark, Where Beth, it's good that Beth is a part of... the main plot of this season. But I don't know. I genuinely don't know what's going to happen to Mark now. We've got 2 episodes left, and then I'm going to have to figure out what show to do next, but he did confront Joe. He wants to put things right, but he can't just fucking kill him, The only answer I could come up with for Mark is live for Danny, Live for Danny. Be there for Chloe. Be there for Lizzie. Which, by the way, I finally realized that Beth's second daughter and her mother all have the same name, basically. Because wasn't it Elizabeth Roper? Which I think they shortened to Liz. And then you could also shorten Elizabeth to Beth. And then they shortened Elizabeth to Lizzie. So, I don't know why it took me so long to be like, oh yeah, all 3 of them basically have the same name, Although, not quite the same last name, because her mother wasn't a Latimer, Anywho. But the only thing I could think, but that's the thing, is that's basically what Beth has been saying, Live for your family, You gotta live for your family. You've gotta be there for them. Even if Danny isn't there, The other thing before we get into the main stuff of this episode, fucking Tom. On top of everything that Miller is going through. Yeah, excuse me. On top of everything she's going through, he stole his phone and his laptop back, and I love she just busted that shit. Good. If you can't hide it away, destroy it. Fucking burn it, you know? And they can't afford to get new ones, so now he has to use the library the computer at the library. Those are words. And he better hope in 2017 there are still payphones in the United Kingdom. I'll look it up for him. I'll look it up, because clearly he can't. Not without his laptop. So it's not looking good. Now, granted, I'm sure they could afford, like, a flip phone. So, I mean, I have no sympathy for Tom. So, I also love when it's like, so where did you get this? Lucas, whatever the fuck his name. Which, also, I just didn't realize that his name is just Clive Lucas. Like, Lucas is his last name. I don't know why I didn't put that together, but whatever. It's like, oh, I got it from the Lucas. He got it from his dad. Is his dad a taxi driver? It's just like, just the piling on of things on top of everything else that happened this episode is just, oh. Miller's just about to blow a gasket, man. Well, I say about to. She did blow a gasket at Hartford, so it finally came back. Katie blowing it. So now this is only if it is Ed Burnett. Now we're late in the game. We're late in the game this time now. At this point, we were probably on our way towards Nige, you know? But it wasn't Nige. So I would imagine that this is our Nige. Look, Vegeta, more bald people. So we went to Nige this time. We went to the Nige of this one, which is Ed. I don't think it's Ed. Granted, yes, all of the evidence does sort of pile on. But all the evidence kind of piled on Nige as well. So, I'm gonna adjust my shirt. It's too early. It's too early. It's like the elections. Too early to call. It's too early to call for Ed. But if it is Ed, then Katie might have royally screwed this up. You know. The thing is, while there is a lot of evidence that he could have attacked Trish, there's not really that he would have done it to the other women, you know? So, like, there's no connection there. So, I don't know. Ian is still pretty sus. What's on the laptop? He's getting sus. I like that, was the kid's name Leo, I think? I do like that he's kind of even though he is sus, I like that he's the one who's like, no, Frian, I'm not doing this, I'm not having any part of this, you know? Like, I don't think it's, I mean, I don't know, I guess it could be him, but he's like the only one with sense being like, no, I cannot take this, I'm not touching it, you know? So yeah, he's not dealing with that. If it's him, if it's not him, if it's Ian, if it's not Ian, he's not doing anything. So, to his credit, it's a little smart of him, you know? And there's the whole thing with Nira. I get it. You know, funny enough, I was just talking about something similar? Question mark. I was talking about something on Mob Psycho 100, where there's a whole thing about, you know, the world is so terrible and will get you down, but you have to be better. You know, you have to be the light in the darkness, and that's exactly what Shigeo is, you know? And here, that's kind of the argument for Nira. It's like, hey, even though, yes, you don't want this responsibility, you have to. You have this responsibility now, and you have to do this to help more women. And that's the thing is, because if you want to talk about, responsibility, even with the world getting you down, this is happening whether you like it or not. And you don't like it, but it is happening. And I feel like nobody gets that more than Beth Latimer, It is terrible, which is why including Beth in all of this was such a great idea for this season, That it's like, yes, because she obviously did not want anything that happened to her to happen to her. But it did. And she is trying to make the most of her life, Which is also something she's trying to get through to Mark, But that's the thing with Nira, is that she, unfortunately, yes, this is a part of your life. I know you want to run away from it, but it is a part of your life, But she's not going to talk. But Beth did get that one thing to Miller, so that was good at least. So, and then fucking Kath and Jim. I mean, that's the thing, Like, I understand being pissed at Trish and not wanting to be her friend. I understand all of that. But yeah, the balls, the chutzpah to go over and be like, well, you've done something and you're going to have to answer for it. And Trish is just like, bitch, what? No, I don't have to answer to anything. Yes, it is a mistake. What Trish did is a bad mistake. Shouldn't have to. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just like, I don't know. I don't know. But I mean, you could say the same thing of like, oh, well, did Mark have to answer for cheating on Beth, that once their son died? Like, no. It's like, obviously he had to answer for that, but it's just circumstances, Similar, I suppose, but it's like, yes, Trish acknowledges what she did was a mistake, but just, I don't know. Just the audacity on that to be like, well, you're going to have to answer for this. And it's like, well, no, we just move on with our lives. If that means we're not friends anymore and we don't contact each other, sure. But like answering, like, what's she going to do? What's she going to do? Pay reparations for it? It's like, well, for every minute that they were boning, you owe her like $3, so you have to add it all up, and these are the reparations for sleeping with like, what does that mean? It doesn't mean anything. Like, maybe just a consequence is you're not friends anymore, but you seemed like awful friends to begin with, And then the whole thing of like, well, Jim and I might not be staying here. We're going to go start fresh. And it's like, okay, whether or not, whether or not Kath, like Trish said, it's like, you can't handle being a nobody, But at the same time, it's like, why are you going with Jim? Jim sucks too, if not worse, Jim sucks too, if not worse. Like, I am all, okay, if you want to go somewhere new, sure. But why with Jim? Like, the source of the problem. And I guess same thing on the other side of, like, why would Jim go with her? The source of his problems. And they're both the source of each other's problems, too. Like, Jim is the source of his own problem. Kath is the source of her own problem. And they're the source of each other's problems. Don't fucking stay together. You do suck. Just, he can go to Liverpool with Joe. She can go to France or something. I don't know. And I know this episode also had the thing with Daisy of like, don't run away from your problems. And I get that, but there are some things of like, I don't know. You know what it is? It's the Joestar secret technique. That's right. I'm going to bring up JoJo now, too. The Joestar secret technique is running away. Joseph Joestar doesn't run away all the time, but he runs away when it is genuinely beneficial too, you know? Sometimes he stays and fights, because that is more beneficial than running away. But if running away will actually solve your problem, you can do that, you know? The thing with Daisy is that it's not going to solve her problem. She ran away, basically, from her old town, ran away to Broadchurch, and things are still, there are still problems. That doesn't mean run away again. That means, okay, then you need to fix something. Something needs to happen, and that's staying in Broadchurch and trying to make your situation better. And I had a whole discussion in Mob Psycho 100 about how high school is awful, but it's just such a minor part of your life. You can watch that episode. It's season 2, episode 5. It was a great discussion and a great episode. Go watch Mob Psycho 100 if you haven't. Anyway. But for Kath and Jim, honestly, it's like, no, it is all here. It is all in this town, this group of friends, this group of terrible friends that you have. So, yeah, leave. But leave each other, because that's also a problem. Like, your life would be better without each other, you know? Whereas, well, okay, Mark's life will not be better without Beth. Now, he's doing something else too, but let's under the assumption he lives, Mark's life, he kind of needs Beth, you know? Because he can't do this by himself. He's not strong enough to do it by himself. He does need Beth, because Beth is strong. Beth, on the other hand, doesn't quite need him, unfortunately. Unfortunate for him, she does not need him. She can live a good life with her daughters, without him. But still, I don't know. Am I making sense? Just like, it's the Joestar secret technique. You run away, but only when it is truly beneficial to you. Don't run away just to run away, If it is truly beneficial for you to run, then you run. But if it's not, because that's the thing, if Daisy goes to a new town, the same thing could happen. It might not, but the same thing could easily happen. Because it did. She already ran away from one town, and then shit happened in Broadchurch. So you can either run away again, and potentially not fix it, or you can stay and fix it yourself. And that is the Joestar way. And with that analogy being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. There's a bunch of links on screen if you want to go click around any of those. There's a playlist for all of my Broadchurch reactions, as well as another video you can go click on if you want. There's also a subscribe button and a Patreon button on screen, as well as other links in the description if you want to go check out any of those. See you guys later.